Round 9 of the 1985 Formula One World Championship is the German Grand Prix at the Nurburgring. And a surprise on pole position, the Italian driver Teo Fabi puts the Toleman Hart on the pole with a best time in Friday qualifying. On Saturday it rains, no one is able to improve, and Teo Fabi takes his first Grand Prix pole position, and it's also the first pole position for Toleman and for the Brian Hart engine. Second fastest in practice is Stefan Johansson with the Ferrari, so it's Toleman and Ferrari on the front row. On the second row, Alain Prost's McLaren and Keke Rosberg in the Williams Honda. And the third row, Ayrton Senna's Lotus Renault and Nelson Piquet's Brabham. This is the new Nürburgring, first used by the Formula One cars for the European Grand Prix last year, 2.8 miles round, and a completely different circuit from the old Nürburgring, where Niki Lauda had his near-fatal accident in 1976. Red light, green light. Poleman Fabi makes a terrible start. And the best starts of all are made by Senna and Rosberg from the third and second rows respectively. Senna has the inside line into the first corner, but Alboreto, who locks up his wheels, hits his own teammate, Stefan Johansson, giving Johansson a puncture. Niki Lauda is also delayed in the start. But as the dust settles, the leader is clearly Ayrton Senna in the Lotus, from Keke Rosberg in the Williams Honda. Alboreto has made it up to third place with the red Ferrari. Elio De Angelis is fourth with the Lotus, Alain Prost is fifth with the McLaren, and sixth is Nelson Piquet's Brabham. Senna in Lotus number 12 leads Rosberg, the red Ferrari of Alboreto, then De Angelis, Prost, Piquet, Mansell and Fabi, who has made a very slow start from pole position. But Senna's lead doesn't last long. Rosberg is determined to take the lead and does so before the end of the first lap. So now it's Williams Honda first, Lotus Renault second. Rosberg from Finland leads, Senna from Brazil is second. Alboreto, the Italian in the Italian Ferrari, is third. Elio De Angelis, the Italian in the British Lotus, is fourth, ahead of Prost in the McLaren and Piquet in the Brabham. Rosberg builds out a small lead. Alboreto is still third. Piquet still sixth, Nigel Mansell seventh, Fabi eighth, Patrese ninth, Lafitte 10th, Boutsen 11th. Stefan Johansson comes into the pits at the end of the first lap because his rear right-hand tyre is in shreds from the collision with his own teammate Alboreto. He rejoins at the tail of the field. Senna closes up on the leader, Keke Rosberg, and starts to make challenges for the lead. So there's a two-car battle for the lead, and there's a three-car battle for third place. Senna squeezes through on the inside of the tight Dunlop curve hairpin at the end of the long straight. And at once the Lotus pulls away. But Rosberg retains second place. Alboreto, De Angelis and Alain Prost, in Ferrari, Lotus and McLaren respectively, stage a long battle for third place. Alboreto never loses his third place, but De Angelis gets very close to passing him. Patrick Tambay spins his Renault off and gets stuck in the sand. His race is over. So is Nelson Piquet's race over. His car catches fire due to a blown turbocharger. Piquet takes over the firefighting chores. Then Ayrton Senna's rotten luck strikes again. Mechanical failure stops Lotus number 12. So Rosberg is the leader once more, and the Michele Alboreto third place battle has become a second place battle. Rosberg in the Williams still leads, but Alboreto is second, De Angelis third and Prost fourth. Ayrton Senna makes his slow, disappointed way back to the pits. Rosberg is soon caught by the second place battle of Alboreto, De Angelis and Prost. But De Angelis doesn't last much longer. Smoke from the back of Lotus number 11 and then flames denote a blown turbocharger for him also. So he is out. Meanwhile, Alboreto sets about closing up on the leader, Keke Rosberg. This is De Angelis parking, with his car now well on fire. Before long, both Alboreto and Prost are right up to the leader, Keke Rosberg, whose brakes are starting to glow red. This is a circuit that is very tough on brakes, and the Williams Honda isn't slowing well into the tight corner before the start-finish straight. As they approach it, Keke rides the curbs and gets his car out of shape. Alboreto forces his way through, the two cars touch, and Prost goes through as well. So now it's Alboreto's Ferrari leading, Prost's McLaren second, and Keke Rosberg in the now almost brakeless Williams Honda is demoted to third. This is a replay. You can see the brake discs glowing red, and you can see how hard Alboreto's Ferrari hits the Williams Honda. Meanwhile, there's a further battle going on between the other Williams Honda of Nigel Mansell and the Ligier Renault of the Frenchman Jacques Lafitte. Jacques Lafitte forces his way through just as Keke Rosberg comes into the pits. Prost is now challenging Alboreto's Ferrari for the lead, but his brakes too are becoming difficult. There's Rosberg going into the pits, and here is Prost throwing away a possibility of winning the race with a spin going into the Roma Curva. He goes round a second time, rejoins the course without having damaged the car, and he's still got his second place, but the leading Ferrari is now 20 seconds ahead. Nigel Mansell and Jacques Lafitte continue with their battle. Mansell's got back in front again, but then Lafitte squeezes by once more. This has now become a battle for third place. Stefan Johansson, who's made such a good job of recovering from his first lap delay, spins his Ferrari while battling for 7th place. But he too is able to rejoin the race. Now Michele Alboreto is able to relax out in the front, with Prost no longer close enough to challenge him. And so he completes his 67th and final lap. It's his second Grand Prix victory of the year and consolidates his World Championship lead. The Ferrari team are delighted. Alain Prost finishes second. Third is Jacques Lafitte, Thierry Boutsen is fourth for Arrows, and Niki Lauda pips Nigel Mansell for 5th place as Mansell falls back with loss of power in the closing stages. Alboreto struggles with the big cup. Jacques Lafitte and Alain Prost spray the champagne. Lafitte on the right in the blue, Prost on the left. In the World Championship, Alboreto now leads by 5 points from Prost. De Angelis and Rosberg are still 3rd and 4th. Apart from Alboreto and Prost, the only other driver in the top 8 to have scored in the German Grand Prix is Jacques Lafitte, who now has 10 points. In the Constructors' Championship, Ferrari now have a handsome 19 points lead over McLaren, with Lotus Renault a further 11 points down, and another 11 points down to Williams Honda.